What's up, man? How you doing?
In the corner. I really appreciate your time, mate.
Oh, it's all good. All good.
Appreciate it. Step back slightly, one more foot.
Right here.
And we're all good.
Cool.
You're good to go?
Yeah,
Cheers,
absolutely.
man. Hey, look, welcome back to New Zealand. How does it feel to be back again?
Oh, dude, we're stoked. You have no idea, man. It's like, you know, this is one of our favorite places, you know. We've only been here once. That was on the big day out, you know, in 2005, and we just couldn't get back here fast enough, so we're totally excited to be here.
Yeah, I was walking down our main street today, and there was like a 15-year-old with a Slipknot shirt on. I walked a little bit further down the road. There was like a 65-year-old with a Slipknot shirt on. Do you sort of find your audience is quite diverse like that?
It's pretty sick, man. We've gone from a lifestyle band to, you know, a generational band. You know, there's like, we were in Iowa not too long ago, and I ran into this kid who was 15, who was a huge fan, and he'd never seen us play before, and it just blew me away, you know, because, I mean, here it is 10 years in, and you just, when you think that you've played for everybody, you realize like that there's this whole other generation of fans that are coming in and discovering it, and it's new for them. And for me, that makes me feel so good, man. It just makes me feel like not only are we doing what we do right, but we're putting a message out there that so many people embrace, you know?
When you guys first started out, I guess metal wasn't such an accepted form of music, whereas now it seems like it's everywhere. Is that a bit odd looking at that?
It's a little weird, yeah. I mean, we've the cool thing is we've still kind of got one foot in the underground, but we're definitely putting our foot in the throat of the mainstream, which is pretty sweet. And you know, the great thing is that we didn't do anything to change who we were to get that. The mainstream naturally came around to us, and so I think that's, you know, that's a testimony to just how good we are. You know, we'd had success without it, and they finally had to turn around and go, God, all right, we get it. Yes, you guys are the, you know, the biggest band in the world right now, and for me that is gratifying on a level that, you know, probably not a lot of people would understand.
No, and is it sort of weird looking back? Like, did you think it would go on for this long when you first formed and got this image together, and the band and the music and everything?
No. Me and Clown's joke was that we were going to do one album and disappear. Like, that was our big thing.
That was
we
gonna
were
be
like, let's do one album, get the hell out, you know. So, and you know, when you're young, that's a very appealing, you know, thing to think about. But then we started realizing that it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like, man, there's no way we could walk away from something like this. I totally did not think it would be this big. I knew that we would be a band that would make its mark. I knew that we would be a band that would influence other people, not only musically, but artistically. And but I never thought in a million years it would be like this, man. So it's very humbling, to be honest.
Well, I remember like years ago in New Zealand when you guys came out, I read stories about crazy stuff, you pooing on stage and all sorts of absolutely bizarre stuff. Have you sort of mellowed out a little bit over that time as far as what the show's all about? Because I was sort of blown away when I read that.
Well, we don't throw fluids anymore. Let's just
no bodily fluids.
No bodily fluids so much. Okay. We're all old and we get sick really easily. Probably because we started throwing bodily fluids to begin with.
Because that's the thing, you guys have actually you have gotten older during this whole process.
Oh yeah. We've you know, the big joke right now is that Clown's going to be the first to hit 40 if we live through this, you know. So right now he's like the old dude. So we keep doing stuff like me and our security guy will send adult diapers to his room in the middle of the night. He doesn't like that at all. So
the joke's wearing thin, eh?
Oh yeah, it's wonderful. You know, it's one of those things where we've been through this together. You know, and it's the same dudes who started out in '98, and we've been through all of this together. And so because of that, and we've gotten so close, even through all the bad times and the dark stuff, you know, we're still together, and that's what's really cool about it.
I mean, honestly, like you coming in here, I didn't quite know whether to expect. Like, we're going to be really scary, but you seem to be a really down-to-earth, nice sort of a guy.
I do my best.
Yeah, no, you are, but like a lot of your fans, I think, obviously see you as being quite a scary sort of a bunch of people. Do you think is that a good thing that they see that, or?
I don't know. I think it's a misconception. You know, for us. Honestly, man, I gotta be honest. I think we're one of the most positive bands out there. You know, I mean, we don't BS. We don't do. We don't come out and we don't try to be this hokey, spooky, whatever. For us, it's more about the art than it ever has been about the shock. And that's one of the most widely drawn out misconceptions, is that there's no content, and we have so much content that now it's really starting to swing around to where people see that now. You know, I mean, we don't go out of our way to act kooky or weird. Well, the clown does, but that's because he's just a weird guy.
Because he's getting old.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's getting senile. He was crazy before, now he's just eccentric. You know?
Yeah.
But for us, man, you know, this is the way we're able to live our lives. You know, I mean, you should have met us before we got signed, man. We were out of our gourds, dude.
So you were on all sorts of things, I imagine.
Oh yeah, we were. You know, we had a lot of issues. You know, just growing up in a place like that, and going through the things that we've done. Now, you know, I've been privileged enough to be able to do this for 10 years, you know, and for me, I don't take that for granted at all. So for me, you know, just as a man, I take that, and I realize that because I've been able to do this, I've been able to grow up a little. I've been able to express a lot of the things that kept me where I was for so long, and it's just kind of balanced me out, you know. And music will save your life if you let it.
Yeah, totally fair call.
Yeah.
You mentioned growing up in Iowa. Obviously, you are from the States. We've got a big election coming up this year, but in America, we're all keeping an eye on your election as well.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something you're keeping an eye on while you're off touring the world?
I always do. You know, I can remember being in I remember being in Japan when Bush was reelected and destroying my hotel room. Like, I was so pissed off.
There were TVs thrown.
It was, I broke a window. I destroyed my bathroom. I ended up paying like $3,000 damage. It was brutal.
Just because of the election result?
I was so mad. And it wasn't even essentially because I was a Kerry fan. I just wanted Bush out of office. Because now we're seeing economically, socially, we are seeing the impact of having a douchebag for a president for 8 years. And that's not just a national thing. That is an international thing. The global economy, you know, say what you want about America, but a lot of people take their cues from the U.S. market. And because we are so down, because so many people have vested interest in the market, everything is going downhill. And that is because not only the policies, but a lot of the economic decisions they've been able to make, you know, because of the administration, who is supposed to be about the everyday person, and yet they cater to the upper 1% as many times as they can. It's scary, you know, and hopefully President Obama will be able to fix some things. I'm not convinced of it, but we'll see. You know, I'm the guy who, I'm not a McCain fan. I'm not an Obama fan. I'm a fan of whoever's going to help fix where we're at.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, I'm an American first, obviously. I'm ashamed of some of the things that my country has been through. But I also know that because it's my country, because it's America, we have the ability to change it very quickly if we put our minds to it.
You're definitely going to be voting, I assume, from what you've been saying just now.
Well, I'm going to be out here. I'm trying to get an absentee ballot in, but, you know, who knows if they even count those anymore. I'm registered to vote. I hope I get to vote. I'm going through the motions right now to make sure that I vote.
Yeah, the joys of touring. The planet,
yeah. Can't clean my toilet, can't vote. That sucks. What the hell is that about?
Just wrapping up, this is the same barcode you've always had, isn't it? Is this as similar as that, or is that changed?
This one, that's a brand new one, actually.
Brand new one.
Yeah, this is a brand new one that I put together in Japan. It's pretty cool. We've all started kind of evolving our outfits the way we've evolved our masks. So it's pretty cool. You know, a little more freedom. It's still very uniform, but at the same time, it's more of an expression of who we are.
Yeah.
You know.
Just finally, obviously, what are you going to do between now and when you get on stage? Do you have a bit of a routine to get yourself? Because on stage, you're very energetic.
Yeah.
Do you do anything in particular?
I stretch out a little bit. Well, I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to stretch out. I sprained my thumb.
How did you sprain your thumb?
Skydiving, actually. I went skydiving yesterday. And
just in Mufti, not in the whole
not
get out.
In this. Yeah, just in my my street clothes, my skivvies, and I stretch out a little bit. I do some warm ups, but it's more about up here than it is about physicality. If you're in the right mindset, you can do anything on stage. So it's just all about getting your head right.
And just finally, for the fans out there, when you look out into the audience, what do you see out there and amongst the crowd? Because it looks pretty crazy from where we stand in the audience. It must look quite mad from you as well.
I see a tribe of kids having a good time. You know, I see a family. You know, I see a family that comes together one night. You know, whenever we come around, and it's a good feeling. It's a good vibe.
Cool, man. Well, look, I'm really looking forward to seeing you tonight.
Cool. Right on.
Thanks
man.
so much.
Hope you dig
I so
it.
appreciate your time.
Absolutely.